Hello, my free and powerful friend. Welcome to our day 16 Sober October live stream series. I'm Magnify Maggie. I am the creator of the Magnify Method, the alternative recovery approach that helps you think different, to drink different, or never again. And honestly, today's topic is me taking back everything I said yesterday. If you watched the day 15 live stream, if you got the replay, it was about alcohol and weight loss. A listener submitted a question to learn more about whether or not weight loss was possible with drinking. They stated that they only find that they're able to lose weight when they take a break from drinking. And I said, basically, you have to cut out alcohol in order to lose weight. And then I had this little voice over my shoulder that was like, don't speak in impossibilities. I caught myself not being able to get over what I said yesterday because it's not exactly true. Do I think that it probably needs to be removed for a period of time for healthy fat loss and for your body to be healthy? Yeah, I think that's true. But I actually had this image of Lane Norton coming to mind. He is a PhD in nutrition science, and on his social media pages, you'll see him basically ripping apart doctors and social media health influencers who are speaking in impossibilities. Like, you can't do this if you are blah, 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 blah. And I felt that ick about myself yesterday. So what I'm trying to say is that you can lose weight with alcohol regularly, but it's not going to be very fun. It's going to be very complex or very dysmorphic, very disordered. So here's an example. And I think this is why, because it's such a personal story of mine. Here's an example of why I couldn't think of any other topics for today other than this, basically taking back everything that I said yesterday, because I watched somebody in my life that I love very dearly lose a lot of weight while she was regularly drinking. So it's not impossible. To be totally truthful, it was my own mom. My mom died when I was 31. I'm 33. She passed away from basically being malnourished after 25 years of alcohol addiction. So it's not exactly true for every single person that you can't lose weight without alcohol, because you could quite literally waste away. So my either or talking yesterday of either you're going to lose weight or you're going to have alcohol in your life, it's not true. Here's some science that I think is really interesting. We actually burn a lot of calories when our body is detoxifying from alcohol. It's actually got the highest thermic effect of food, which is a process of your metabolism. We actually burn more calories in thermic effect of food rather than exercise, because our body is just pretty much always digesting something, right? Well, when we consume alcohol, it takes so much energy for our body to burn that off and detoxify it and to remove it from our body. It takes so much energy. It's 30% TEF. Protein is the highest macronutrient. It has 20% TEF. Carbs, if they're complex carbs, it's about the same. Whereas fats has about 5 to 10% TEF. Alcohol is 30. So if you were to live off of just alcohol alone, yeah, you could probably lose a lot of weight. If you were to drink the same amount of alcohol that you're drinking now, but just not eat nearly as much, you would probably lose a lot of weight. So it's not impossible. But I think the people that are losing weight and drinking regularly, I think it's just important to realize that you don't see everything in their life. You don't see their mindset behind closed doors. You don't see if they're waking up hungover and barely able to put food in their mouth. So, hey, they skip breakfast because their stomach is so queasy. You don't see whether or not they're struggling. You only see that bright picture when they're out at the club. And then you see that polished gym clip that they post the next day, but you don't know. Maybe that's a gym clip from previous times, So I just think it's important to say, yes, it is actually possible to lose weight while you are drinking regularly, but you're going to have to manipulate so many different variables and be very restrictive with your food in order to fit in the calories for your drinking. If you were to want to pursue this, there are ways to track your alcohol as a carb and fat macro. This is a whole debate in the fitness industry, like a huge, like if you Google how to track alcohol, MyFitnessPal, blah, 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 you will see the argument of how you have to like split the calories amongst carbs and fats, but realize they're not actually good carbs or fats. It's empty calories. You're just using up your carbs and fat ratios for the alcohol cocktails. Maybe you're like, that's where I'm at and that's what I want to do and that's what I need to do. That information is out there and I can help you do that. But I would also be kind of hand on your shoulder, guiding you to say, hey, let's pull that back because you're making things really complicated and hard for yourself when we could just take a break for a little while. And then here's the thing is like, you can take a break for a little while, get your body to the point that you're like, I just want to maintain this body composition, this body shape, my weight. This is where I'm happy. I want to maintain this. Then you can work in 2 to 4 cocktails a week with the right strategy, with the right nutrition help, with the right, routines, healthy routines. You could work those in there and be able to maintain and possibly still with the right timing of your workouts, build muscle and burn fat. But when your body is going through a fat loss phase, it needs every ounce of energy and nutrients from food. And when you're like, hey, I'm going to use my calories on a martini or Tito's and vodka, that could have been calories that had antioxidants in them. That could have been calories that had all these different vitamins that are important for fat loss, digestion. That could have been calories that had protein and healthy fiber, things like this. So it's like over time, I do have clients that do this. Over time, their mind changes and they just start to taper down. They say, yeah, I wanted to start and keep alcohol in my weekly routine, but now my mind is just seeing calories as they're supposed to be a vehicle for nutrients. So it's pretty silly that here we are trying to lose weight, meaning that we need to be very intentional and cognizant of what we put in our mouth. And then we're allowing ourselves to kind of remove those boundaries when it comes to alcohol. Here's another thought that I had yesterday afterwards. I always have these afterthoughts. So I'm happy that we're hanging out here today. Here's the other thing is that for the most part, alcohol doesn't have a nutrition label the same way that food does. So it's very easy to think you're only drinking 200 calories, 300 calories, but depending on mixers, depending on the bartender's hand, how heavy of a hand they have, depending on if they have the diet juice, the sugar-free juice, or the sugar-free soda versus the regular, all of these things that we don't see a nutrition label right in front of us. Bottles of alcohol, we don't know how many calories are in one serving. They do not have nutrition labels. We just have this disconnection of like those actually having calories. So I would guess that when I was drinking heavily, I was probably having at least 1,000 empty calories every time I drank. And I was up on my feet. I was actually probably expending more energy than what I was taking in because I was drinking. But once I was drinking, I didn't really want to eat. And the next day, I couldn't stomach things. So I was very skinny fat and I couldn't put on muscle. So there's all different kinds of things that happen when we drink. And I don't mean to say that it is impossible to lose weight. In fact, it's very plausible to lose weight, but not in a healthy way or a way that you would really want to. Think about it as kind of like wasting away. It's really hard for your body to build muscle and simultaneously burn fat when it's always detoxifying. So if you are losing weight, you're probably losing it from your muscle and your fat. So you're getting skinny fat, you're wasting away, right? And this is not supposed to be fear mongering, but just this like video of Lane Norton again, like kept playing in my mind where he's like calling out and myth busting nutrition coaches who are like, your body could be in starvation mode and that's why you're not losing weight. And he's like, really? Because show me a starved POW who is overweight. They are in starvation mode and they definitely lose weight. Like, so it's like, okay, when we reduce it down to the ridiculous, yeah, it's really plausible that you could lose weight with alcohol. But let's see this drastic and this extreme comparison to make us see like how poisonous it really is. And from that perspective, rather than I have a problem, I'm ruining my life is in shambles, from that perspective, it's really hard to say no to alcohol because we're carrying shame with us. But from the perspective of like, I want my body to be healthy. This is my one vessel. This is my gift. This is what I have to carry my soul around in this world and express myself. I am not just like, you know how you see the anatomy pictures or maybe even like a skeleton, like a live model of a skeleton. And we think like, yeah, that's the inside of somebody's body, but like that's on the inside of your body. Like those pictures of the organs that you see, your liver, your kidneys, your stomach, your intestines, like that for real, your heart is so impacted by alcohol. All of those things are locked up inside you. Don't you want them to be given the nourishment and the nutrients that they need to be the healthiest versions of themselves? And don't you want to feel good about that? So from that perspective, it's like, ick alcohol, maybe on a super special occasion, that's what I want to do. But my day-to-day, everyday lifestyle, not for me right now. I'm focused on my health goals. I'm focused on fat loss, muscle gain. I'm focused on discipline, mental health, which is just as big of a symptom of the physical activity. When you are working out without alcohol to distract you, when you're working out and you see your strength gains, you are so fucking excited about them. You want to get back to the gym. You realize this is where my endorphins come from. This is where my dopamine comes from. You're actually getting the reward from something that is intended to be rewarding versus the shortcut of something in a liquid that helps you escape and unleash a great amount of dopamine. It's kind of like that fake dopamine, the shortcut dopamine, not the earned dopamine, the feeling you get when you leave the gym, knowing that you put another penny in your bank for your weight loss, knowing that you put a penny in your fitness identity, your healthy identity, taking care of yourself, knowing that you put another penny in your discipline bank, your piggy bank, and you stole a little bit out of the banks of self-doubt, worry, laziness, procrastination. You start to kind of shift your finances out of that piggy bank and put them in all these other cool piggy banks. And your mental health just blossoms from that. So I want to encourage you. There are so many ways that this could go depending on person to person. That's why I have my one-on-one coaching and the community. If you're not ready for one-on-one coaching, that course and community is the first link in the description, because this is all going to be specific to you based off of your health goals. Where are you right now with being able to believe in not drinking for a week, not drinking for a month, not drinking for a few months? Where are you with that? Wherever you are, I'm going to meet you there. And we're going to get your mind wrapped around the perspective necessary to take that next step, and then that next step, and then that next step. And before you know it, you're going to be like, alcohol, maybe for fun every once in a while, but I'm on my gains train. I'm loving myself in a bikini. I'm loving the foods I'm eating. I'm loving the way that my body is changing and growing. And I know what to put in my mouth, and I know how to have discipline with that. Okay, that's all for today. That was me taking back everything I said yesterday. But as you can see, my ideas are different, but my beliefs are still the same. There are ways to do it. just not the best way. But hey, best way is up here. And if you're down here, maybe there's like a better way right here. Once you get there, then you're like, okay, let me keep going. Let me keep going. Let me keep going. I did not get up here overnight. I said, let me get a little bit better. Let me get a little bit better. Let me get a little bit better. And that all took mentorship. That took putting myself in accountability groups. That took, reaching out to friends and having them hold me accountable. That took making decisions, not just straddling indecision lines. So a lot to it. I love that you're hanging out. I love that you're catching these daily live streams. Make sure you comment any takeaways. Let me know if you have any questions for future streams. Let me know if anything just resonated deeply with you today. I love to hear from you guys. Remember, this was a listener specific question. So if you have any, I'm so happy to put them on the docket for our live stream talks here. Thank you for joining. Please share with anybody that you think needs to hear this. The Unsoberly Sober show is out where you get podcasts. That's where I'm talking about similar themes as this, but just diving a lot deeper. That's the Unsoberly Sober show. On YouTube, I've also got my podcast videos of the Unsoberly Sober show. So check those out. Lots of good videos, workout videos, nutrition videos. Check out the Vault on the Magnify Maggie YouTube channel. All for now. Lots of love. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Have a good day. Go crush it. Remember how badass you are. You are one free and powerful mofo. You can make anything in your life happen. Go do it. Think, how can I? Not I can't. Because it all goes down in the mind. Think different, drink different. Bye.